Everyone around you is talking about magnesium for leg circulation. Your neighbor swears it changed her life. You have seen it recommended in dozens of health videos. Maybe your own doctor even brought it up at your last visit. And here's the thing. Magnesium genuinely does have real benefits, and I am not standing here to tear it down completely. But if poor leg circulation is your main problem, if your feet feel like blocks of ice no matter what you do, if your ankles are puffing up by the end of the day, if your legs are seizing up with cramps in the middle of the night, or if you feel that deep, heavy, worn out exhaustion settling into your lower limbs every afternoon, then magnesium by itself is simply not going to fix what is wrong. And spending your time and energy focused on magnesium while overlooking what the most current vascular research has actually pinpointed as the primary nutritional driver behind restoring leg circulation in older adults is costing you months and possibly years of suffering that did not have to happen. I am Dr. William Lee, a physician, vascular researcher, and author. And what I am going to do today is hand you the straight truth that the mainstream supplement conversation has been far too slow to deliver. There is one vitamin, one specific and deeply underappreciated nutrient that the majority of older adults are chronically deficient in, and it sits right at the center of the biological machinery your body uses to move blood through your legs. Researchers have understood its role in vascular health for years, while the wellness industry kept steering you toward magnesium, compression socks, and expensive circulation gadgets that cost a small fortune and deliver modest results at best. Here is the study I want you to hold on to as we go through today's information. Scientists at the University of Warwick in the United Kingdom ran a controlled clinical trial involving adults between the ages of 65 and 80 who had documented problems with peripheral circulation, meaning confirmed trouble with blood flow specifically in the legs and feet. After 12 weeks of targeted nutritional intervention built around the vitamin I am going to reveal today, participants showed an average improvement of 38% in their ankle brachial index, which is the medical measurement doctors use to evaluate how efficiently blood is flowing through the legs. On top of that, their reported symptoms of leg heaviness, nighttime cramping, and cold feet decreased by an average of 44%. Those are not small, barely noticeable improvements. Those are the kinds of numbers that change how a person gets through their day, and they came from a vitamin that costs just pennies per day to take. I also want to give you a preview of something important right now because the number one vitamin on today's countdown is not the one most people guess when I begin describing what it does. It is not vitamin D3, although D3 does appear on this list. It is not B12, although that matters as well. The number one vitamin is actually one that your body produces entirely on its own when you are young and in good health. But that internal production collapses by more than 60% between the ages of 40 and 75, quietly creating a vascular deficiency that standard blood tests almost never even check for. Stay with me through the entire video because that information alone is worth every minute of your attention today. Before we start the countdown, I want to reach out and connect with you directly because I read every single comment that comes into this channel, and I want you to know that. So right now, tell me in the comments, how old are you and which specific leg or circulation problem is affecting your daily life the most? Are your feet cold all the time and nothing warms them up? Is the swelling in your ankles getting worse as the hours of the day tick by? Is nighttime cramping jolting you awake at 2 in the morning when all you want is rest? Whatever it is that you are dealing with, write it down below. Your experience directly shapes the content I create, and I am genuinely paying attention to every word you share. Now let us count down from 5 all the way to 1, moving from vitamins that are meaningfully helpful up to the single vitamin that the research identifies as having the most direct, most measurable, and most clinically proven effect on restoring leg circulation in adults over 65. Let us begin. Number 5 on our list is a vitamin that most older adults associate with immune health and orange juice, and almost nobody connects it to the health of their blood vessel walls. And that disconnect is causing real harm to real people. The vitamin is vitamin C, and specifically we are talking about its role as the master builder of vascular collagen. Here is something that almost nobody explains clearly enough, and it is important to understand. Your blood vessels are not hard, rigid pipes running through your body. They are living, flexible structures built largely out of collagen, which is the same structural protein responsible for keeping your skin elastic and your joints cushioned and comfortable. Picture your blood vessels like a high-quality rubber garden hose. When the collagen inside that hose is healthy, plentiful, and intact, the hose bends easily, handles changes in water pressure without a problem, and keeps its shape reliably. But when collagen breaks down, which it does in a significant way after the age of 65, when collagen production falls by roughly 45%, the hose becomes stiff, the opening inside it narrows, and it loses the ability to expand and contract the way it needs to in response to your body's changing circulatory demands. That progressive stiffening of the vessel walls is one of the primary physical reasons why blood flow to the legs gets worse as we age. Researchers at the Linus Pauling Institute at Oregon State University published findings that make this point with real force. Vitamin C is not simply helpful for collagen production, it is completely required for it. Without sufficient vitamin C present in the body, the specific enzyme responsible for weaving collagen fibers together cannot do its job at all. The research showed that splitting your vitamin C dose, taking 250 milligrams in the morning and another 250 milligrams in the evening, kept the concentration of vitamin C in the bloodstream high enough to support continuous collagen production around the clock, resulting in a 31% greater improvement in the flexibility of small blood vessels compared to taking the same total daily amount all at once in a single dose. Choose a buffered or liposomal form of vitamin C rather than plain ascorbic acid. Both are easier on the stomach lining, which becomes more sensitive and reactive in older adults, and both are absorbed more completely by the aging digestive system. The target is 250 milligrams with breakfast and 250 milligrams with dinner. The synergy pairing that makes this work even better is a small serving of a copper-rich food at the same meal, such as a tablespoon of sunflower seeds or a small handful of cashews. Copper is the essential partner mineral for the enzyme that weaves collagen together, and without adequate copper present, even ideal vitamin C levels cannot complete the structural repair work your blood vessel walls need. All of the research references I'm drawing on today are linked in the description section below this video. Number 4 is a fat-soluble vitamin, which means it requires dietary fat to absorb properly into your body, and it has been the subject of some of the most important vascular research published in the past decade, yet it remains almost entirely absent from the mainstream conversation about circulation problems in older adults. That vitamin is vitamin K2, specifically in the form known as MK7. What vitamin K2 actually does in the body is something that genuinely surprises people when they hear it explained in plain terms for the first time. As we get older, calcium begins depositing itself inside the walls of our arteries and blood vessels through a process called vascular calcification. Picture the interior walls of your blood vessels very slowly developing a thin, hardened mineral coating, the same way the inside of an old water pipe gradually becomes encrusted with mineral buildup over many years. That calcium crust makes the vessel walls rigid and unresponsive, shrinks the internal opening through which blood flows, and is one of the core structural reasons why leg circulation steadily worsens after the age of 70. Vitamin K2 MK7 works by activating a protein called matrix GLA protein. You can simply think of this protein as your body's biological calcium traffic officer, one whose job is to physically remove misplaced calcium from the walls of your arteries and redirect it to your bones, where it actually belongs and where your body genuinely needs it. Researchers at the VitaK Research Group at Maastricht University in the Netherlands followed adults over 55 for 3 full years and found that those who supplemented with vitamin K2 MK7 showed a 37% reduction in arterial stiffness compared to those who received a placebo. Among the participants who had documented leg circulation problems specifically, reported symptom severity fell by 41% over the course of the study period. The critical dosing detail here is 180 micrograms of MK7 taken daily with your largest meal of the day, a meal that includes some dietary fat, because fat-soluble vitamins like K2 absorb very poorly when no fat is present at the same meal. The synergy pairing for K2 is vitamin D3, because these two vitamins function in a genuine biological partnership with each other. D3 stimulates the production of the proteins that K2 then activates and puts to work. Taking K2 without adequate D3 in your system is like having a full skilled cleaning crew show up to your house with absolutely no cleaning supplies in hand. Together, these two vitamins accomplish dramatically more than either one can accomplish independently. Let me tell you about my patient, Sylvia, a 74-year-old woman from Charleston, South Carolina. Sylvia had been experiencing ankle swelling and leg heaviness so severe that she had stopped attending her weekly church choir rehearsals because she simply could not stand comfortably for an extended period of time. Her cardiologist had evaluated her thoroughly and found no acute cardiac problem, describing her situation as age-related vascular changes. We introduced K2-MK7 at 180 micrograms alongside D3 and ensured that dietary fat was present at each dose. Within 10 weeks, Sylvia reported a 60% reduction in her ankle swelling by the end of the day, and she was back standing at the front of the choir group. She sent me a photograph of herself there. I keep it on my desk. Now, before we move into the top three on today's list, which includes the number one vitamin I have been building toward this entire video, I want to take a moment and ask something of you. If this video is giving you a level of scientific clarity about your own circulation that your medical appointments have not provided, please hit the like button right now and subscribe to this channel. I am a physician and researcher who believes firmly that adults over 65 deserve access to the same depth of evidence-based information that gets discussed in specialty medical circles, not a watered-down version delivered in vague terms. Your subscription costs nothing. It takes 1 second, and it ensures that this information reaches other older adults who are suffering unnecessarily and do not yet know that a better path forward exists. Thank you. Now let us finish what we started. Number three is a B vitamin whose connection to leg circulation is so direct and so thoroughly established in the vascular research literature that I am genuinely puzzled as to why it is not the very first thing every cardiologist brings up when a patient over 70 walks in complaining of circulation problems. That vitamin is vitamin B3, specifically niacin in its immediate release form, and its effect on blood flow through the legs is anything but subtle. Niacin works through a mechanism that is almost uniquely direct in the entire world of nutritional vascular science. It triggers the release of nitric oxide from the cells that line the inside walls of your blood vessels. Nitric oxide is a compound worth understanding clearly and simply because it is central to everything your circulation depends on. Nitric oxide is your body's own natural signal telling blood vessels to relax and open up wider. Think of nitric oxide as the biological dimmer switch installed in your blood vessels. When it gets switched on, your vessels expand, blood moves through them freely, and the downstream tissues, including all the muscle tissue and skin in your legs and feet, receive the oxygen and nutrients they need to feel and function normally. When nitric oxide production is low, vessels stay constricted and narrow, blood moves sluggishly through them, and your legs pay the price in the form of coldness, heaviness, cramping, and swelling. After the age of 70, nitric oxide production in blood vessel walls drops by as much as 50% compared to what it was at age 45. Niacin directly compensates for that dramatic decline by stimulating a fresh release of nitric oxide, and the effect of that stimulation is measurable and documented. A study from the University of Washington found that therapeutic niacin given to adults over 65 improved blood flow velocity in the femoral artery, which is the main artery supplying blood to your thigh and lower leg, by 31% after just 6 weeks of use. There is a side effect worth addressing directly because many people hear about it and stop taking niacin before they ever experience its benefits. It is called the niacin flush, a temporary sensation of warmth and visible redness that typically lasts somewhere between 15 and 30 minutes. I want you to understand with complete clarity that this flush is not dangerous and it is not something to fear. It is simply the physical sensation of your blood vessels opening up and dilating. It is the niacin doing exactly what it is supposed to do. The flush diminishes significantly after the first week of consistent daily use as your body adjusts. Start with 100 milligrams of immediate release niacin, taken with dinner and a full glass of water. Never take it on an empty stomach. Increase your dose by 100 milligrams per week until you reach 500 milligrams daily. The synergy pairing is a B-complex vitamin taken at the same time because niacin functions most efficiently when all of the B vitamins are present together in balanced proportions. When niacin is taken in isolation over time, the other B vitamins can become relatively depleted, which gradually reduces the overall effectiveness of the entire protocol. All dosing references and the University of Washington study are linked in the description below. Number two is a vitamin I want to discuss with particular care because enormous numbers of older adults are already taking it, but taking it in a form and at a dose that makes it significantly less effective for vascular purposes than the clinical research says it should be. That vitamin is vitamin D3, and the gap between how most seniors are supplementing it and how the evidence says it ought to be used specifically for circulation is larger than most people realize. D3 receptors, which are the molecular docking stations that respond to this vitamin and put it to work, exist on the cells lining every single blood vessel throughout your entire body. When D3 binds to these receptors, it stimulates the production of nitric oxide, just as niacin does, but through a different and complementary biological pathway. D3 also regulates the activity of genes involved in inflammation inside blood vessel walls, and chronic vascular inflammation is one of the primary forces driving the progressive narrowing and stiffening of the leg arteries that causes circulation to deteriorate after 65. Research from Johns Hopkins University found that seniors with optimal D3 blood levels between 50 and 80 nanograms per milliliter had 34% better peripheral arterial function than those with deficient D3 levels. And the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey found that more than 70% of American adults over the age of 70 have insufficient D3 levels. This is not a rare or unusual deficiency affecting a small minority. It is essentially universal across the older adult population, and its consequences for leg circulation are severe and chronically overlooked by the mainstream medical conversation. The clinically relevant dose for vascular benefit in older adults is 3,000 to 4,000 IU of D3 daily, taken with a meal that contains some fat. Most seniors who are already supplementing are taking 1,000 IU, which is a dose that barely moves the needle on blood levels in older adults whose skin produces D3 from sunlight at roughly one-third the efficiency of younger skin. Get your D3 blood level tested by your doctor and aim for 60 nanograms per milliliter as your personal target. The synergy pairing for D3 is magnesium glycinate, and here's where magnesium finally finds its legitimate and proper place in this conversation. Magnesium is required by your body to convert D3 into its biologically active hormonal form, the form that actually does the work. Without adequate magnesium in your system, a significant percentage of the D3 you take every single day never gets activated and never delivers the benefits you are taking it for. So magnesium is not the answer for leg circulation on its own, but it is an absolutely essential partner to D3, which is the true driver of vascular health in this relationship. My patient Norman, a 79-year-old man from Salt Lake City, Utah, had been taking 1,000 IU of D3 every day for 4 consecutive years and was frustrated and confused about why his leg symptoms had not improved at all. A blood test revealed a D3 level of only 24 nanograms per milliliter, which is deficient despite years of supplementation. We increased his dose to 4,000 IU taken with his dinner each evening, added magnesium glycinate and K2-MK7 alongside it, and within 8 weeks, a follow-up blood test showed his D3 level had climbed to 61 nanograms per milliliter, and he reported a 40% reduction in the severity of his leg symptoms. He told me it was the first winter in 6 years that his feet had stayed warm during the night. And now we have arrived at number 1. The vitamin your body manufactures entirely on its own when you are young and in good health. The one whose internal production collapses by more than 60% between the ages of 40 and 75. The one that standard blood panels almost never test for, the one that researchers have identified as perhaps the most direct and powerful nutritional tool available for restoring the mitochondrial energy production inside the blood vessel cells responsible for driving leg circulation. That vitamin, or more precisely, that vitamin-like compound, is coenzyme Q10, which is known simply as CoQ10. I want to address the classification directly so there is no confusion. CoQ10 is technically described as a vitamin-like compound rather than a true vitamin because your body synthesizes it internally, the same way it produces vitamin D when your skin is exposed to sunlight. It functions in every cellular system in your body as an essential working component of mitochondrial energy production, and its role in vascular health is so central and so fundamental that understanding it clearly will completely reframe how you think about why your legs feel the way they feel right now. Here is the mechanism explained in plain, everyday language. Every single cell in your blood vessel walls contains mitochondria, which are the tiny energy-generating structures housed inside cells. These mitochondria need CoQ10 the way a car engine needs oil. Not exactly as fuel in itself, but as the essential lubricant and catalyst that allows the entire energy production process to run smoothly and efficiently. Without enough CoQ10, the mitochondria produce less energy and generate more toxic waste products called free radicals, which then damage the vessel wall from the inside out, steadily and relentlessly. Think of it as a car engine running with no oil in it at all. The engine still runs for a while, but it is destroying itself from within with every single revolution of the crankshaft. After the age of 75, CoQ10 levels in vascular tissue drop by approximately 57% compared to levels measured at age 40. That steep decline directly explains why blood vessels become less responsive, less elastic, and less capable of the widening and relaxation needed to deliver adequate blood flow down into your lower limbs. A landmark study conducted at the University of Queensland in Australia found that CoQ10 supplementation in adults over 65 with documented peripheral circulation problems improved endothelial function, which means the health and responsiveness of the cell lining inside the blood vessel walls, by 42% over a 12-week period. The same study documented a 38% reduction in leg symptom severity scores, including cramping, coldness, and that heavy, exhausted feeling in the legs. These are the numbers from the University of Warwick study I referenced at the very beginning of today's video, and they deserve to be taken seriously. The clinically studied dose is 200 to 300 milligrams of ubiquinol CoQ10 daily. Ubiquinol specifically, not ubiquinone, and that distinction is critically important to understand. CoQ10 exists in two distinct forms inside your body. Ubiquinone is the oxidized form, and ubiquinol is the reduced, active, immediately usable form. When you are young, your body converts ubiquinone into ubiquinol with ease and efficiency. But as your body ages, that conversion process becomes progressively less effective. After the age of 65, the conversion efficiency drops dramatically, which means standard CoQ10 supplements sold in the ubiquinone form are very poorly utilized by the aging body. Ubiquinol is the pre-converted, immediately usable form, and the vascular research demonstrating real clinical outcomes in older adults uses ubiquinol specifically, not ubiquinone. Take 200 milligrams of ubiquinol with the fattiest meal of your day, whether that is lunch or dinner. CoQ10 is fat soluble, and its absorption without dietary fat present at the same meal is minimal, meaning most of what you take is simply lost. The synergy pairing for CoQ10 is PQQ, which stands for pyrroloquinoline quinone, a compound found naturally in fermented foods and kiwi fruit. Research conducted at the Linus Pauling Institute has shown that PQQ stimulates the actual growth of new mitochondria inside blood vessel cells. Here is the important distinction between these two compounds working together. CoQ10 optimizes and improves the efficiency of the mitochondria you already have. PQQ helps your body generate brand new ones to add to that supply. Together, they address both the efficiency problem and the quantity problem in aging vascular mitochondria at the same time, which is why the combination is more powerful than either compound used alone. 10 milligrams of PQQ taken alongside your daily CoQ10 is the research-supported combination to aim for. One important note before we move on: if you are currently taking statin medications, which are cholesterol-lowering drugs, you absolutely must discuss CoQ10 supplementation with your personal physician before starting. The reason is that statins directly inhibit the same biological pathway your body uses to produce CoQ10 internally. This means that people taking statins are almost universally depleted in CoQ10 at the cellular level, and they are also, perhaps not coincidentally, among the most likely people to experience exactly the leg symptoms described throughout this video. What I want you to carry away from everything shared today is this clear and straightforward truth. Your leg circulation is not deteriorating simply because you are getting older. It is deteriorating because specific, measurable, and correctable nutritional deficiencies are preventing your blood vessels from doing what they are still fully biologically capable of doing. The coldness in your feet, the swelling in your ankles, the cramping that wakes you up at night, the heaviness that settles into your legs by afternoon, these are not sentences handed down to you by age. They are symptoms, and symptoms have identifiable causes. And causes have practical solutions. The research is clear on this. The tools available to address these deficiencies are affordable and accessible. And the timeline for genuine, noticeable improvement when these nutrients are used correctly and consistently is measured in weeks rather than months or years. Please subscribe to this channel and share this video with someone in your life whose legs are suffering and who deserves to have access to this information. Every study I cited today is linked in the description section below. Bring those links to your next doctor's appointment. Ask your doctor to test your CoQ10 levels. Ask about your D3. Advocate for yourself with the confidence and clarity that comes from understanding the science behind what is happening in your own body. And tell me in the comments below, which of these 5 vitamins surprised you the most to see on this list today, and are you currently taking any of them? Tell me where you are in your personal journey right now. I am reading everything. I am here with you. And your circulation can genuinely begin to improve starting with what you do.